We're going to welcome the Arnetts to the Faron and Scott show.
Absolutely.
They drove in, got through the construction somehow.
Made it right through there.
That's a challenge to get through that. But they're here, and welcome to the show.
In and out of my house every day there was music going on, but I am opposite of Nathan. I've never been into bluegrass until he happened. I
Okay.
never knew anything about that sort of thing. I grew up listening to Fleetwood Mac and Leonard Skinner and
Yeah.
the Eagles, and so that's what I like. That's where my roots are at.
They didn't do Pretty Polly, did they?
I'm pretty sure.
Not well, anyway. No.
I'm pretty sure that not listening to bluegrass music is probably some kind of law in Eastern Kentucky, but they just ain't pushed it yet.
No, we're not going to.
It's on the books.
But-
Yeah.
It is it. I figured it was.
It is on the books.
Every time we play a show, Nathan loves to tell everybody that I don't know. Well, I didn't know until he happened. I didn't know who Keith Whitley was, and I didn't know who these people like that were. But he had no idea who Fleetwood Mac was. He had
Right.
never heard of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's my favorite band. That's just as bad as me not knowing, if not worse,
Oh, man.
than who Keith Whitley is.
Well, not knowing who Keith Whitley is probably grounds for divorce, but I love her too much, you know. So
Let that slide.
yeah, we'll let that
I
slide
hear
just a
you.
little
I
bit.
hear you.
Well, tell us how you first met Nathan. I assume it was not at a Fleetwood Mac concert.
No, he actually hit me up on Facebook. He knew my family from the bluegrass side of things. He didn't know me.
Okay.
I actually was totally not interested.
Whoa. What'd that mean?
I had no interest in dating anyone whatsoever. I hadn't been on a date in 6 years. I was perfectly happy living on my own, had a good job, all this stuff. I was like, I don't need that. And
He
he
changed
started
all that.
talking to me, and 2 days later, we went on our first date,
Yeah.
and I literally knew on our first date that I was going to marry him. I told him that.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then
Was it the hat?
Of course.
So we went on our first date December the 15th. He asked me to marry him the first weekend in February at Spigma, which is a bluegrass thing in
Right.
Nashville.
Yeah.
And then we got married in March. So
Awesome.
it was very quick.
Wow.
My mom about shot us because we didn't give her enough time to plan the wedding.
Rushed it a little bit for her.
Just a little bit.
And then,
Nathan said timing's perfect.
Yeah. that's-
how soon before you guys actually sang something together during this dating
Well,
time?
what was really funny about it was I took her to a bluegrass jam the night of our date.
But what we didn't know was that we went to a bluegrass jam at my uncle's studio that he had recorded his Turning Ground album at, and he didn't know that that was my uncle.
Oh, wow.
So we went there and had a jam that night, and she sung a song or two, and so that first date we sung together, and it was just
Wow.
like, it was like our voices just blended so well together. So
I always love to tell on Nathan when we talk about our first date. I mean, he still does this sometimes to this day, but he don't like people to know when he's being sweet. And we was literally sitting right beside each other like this right here. And instead of him saying, "Oh, that was so good, I loved it," whenever I would sing, he would text me and be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm falling for you. That was so good. I love you."
you gonna edit some of this out?
Yeah, we'll be careful what we actually put on
Dial
air.
down a little bit.
Okay, and let's do a song. And then we'll
Okay.
get back to the story, but it's time for some music, isn't it,
Time
Scott?
for music, yeah.
Since she's all lovey-dovey, we was actually in California recording the voice, and I sat down and wrote this song. I try to write songs everywhere I go. I really enjoy songwriting, and I wrote this duet for me and Chesi while we was down there.
Okay.
She likes it when I wear my cowboy hat. I wore it on our first date, looking back.
He likes it when I wear my hair down.
I would clap, but I'm doing that.
I know,
Facebook
yeah, I know, you
Live
can't do it,
thing,
you can't. Yeah. I'll hand you a
Anyway,
stick of gum, you
yeah.
can chew gum while you do it too.
It's hard to sing that early in the morning.
It is a little earlier than
Live
you
is,
normally do a show, I'm sure.
Nathan and Chesi.
Must be hard to fix breakfast of the morning too. She ain't fixing it in this minute.